Something's about to happen that is going to make it harder for all of us resellers that focus on media items like DVDs, books, and music. Stick around for a minute and I'll tell you what it is and what I've already done about it. Hello everyone, welcome to Quarter Flips. I'm Dave, this is my channel. Before we get to the bad news, I've got a couple other pieces of housekeeping to do. I guess it's mostly bad news, but there's always good news, bad news situation. Let's start with Pickers Warehouse in Woodinville. I've featured them a number of times in these videos, and I've definitely said if you're in the area, if you're in the Pacific Northwest, you definitely need to head out to Woodinville, Washington and check out Pickers Warehouse. Well, they closed and then immediately reopened as Repurpose Center Woodinville. It's essentially the same place as it was before. A lot of same great deals. There's even some new things. There's bins of like clothing, and there's going to be media by the pound that they're going to be doing out there. And even Brandon is still there. Yeah, I just can't say go to Pickers Warehouse anymore. It's Repurpose Center Woodinville. If you were following them on Facebook, you need to follow their new Facebook page because they don't have the old Pickers Warehouse page anymore. Updates are in Repurpose Center Woodinville, so go do that. I'll put a link down below. If you're one of the people that are following, I know there's a few people that watch these videos that have been out there. And if you're in the Northwest and you're a reseller and you're going to do any kind of picking or shopping, you definitely want to go out there and check it out. They're only open on Saturdays. So head out to Woodinville on a Saturday and do that. Good news, bad news. That's pretty much the only good news. Bad news, well, bad news update. I did the video just a little while back about my storage unit being broken into. I did get an update from the manager at the storage unit about break-ins at the property. I asked if there had been more, and she said lots. They haven't caught anyone. The people are using every different kind of attack on these locks and doors and units that they possibly can to get into these places. I guess it's kind of an epidemic of break-ins there. And it's a real bummer. I think it's just a sign of the times. I asked, was it people going over the top like in mine? She said, no, there haven't been any more of those break-ins. Those people may be done. They weren't caught, but these other break-ins, they're actually breaking in from the outside of the building in the middle of the night, picking the locks on the outside doors, the security doors that you have to let people out if there's a fire or something. They're getting into those, getting through any doors in the building, getting up to multiple floors, and then just taking their time cutting locks, cutting through hasps, doing whatever they want. It really doesn't make a person feel very confident about it. I am not keeping anything in my unit that is absolutely vital to my operation, which is a bummer because you want to be able to use it. If I could store things that I had listed and feel safe that they were stored there, so when I sold something, I could just run down to the unit and grab it, I'd feel better about it. But no, got to keep all the best stuff at the house and only have the stuff I don't really care about at the unit. Yeah, it's annoying. One piece of news, though, is that they had reported this repeatedly to the police, and the police won't respond and don't care. That's, yeah. Anyway, so I just wanted to do an update on that. It's not good news, like I said. It's just lots more people got broken into, and they can't catch the people or stop it, and the police won't do anything about it. Yes, tax dollars at work. Awesome. Moving on, let's get to the main subject of this video. Shipping prices are going up. Shipping prices are going up for media resellers. There may not have been as much talk about this because it's going to be a weird postage price increase from the US Postal Service. They did a across the board shipping price increase back in January. Everything went up. Medium mail went for the first pound, went up to $4.13, which is just wild to me that it would be that expensive. And that's media mail is, records, books, CDs, DVDs, that sort of thing, movies and written word, stuff like that. Forever they've had a cheaper way to send that stuff because it's heavier and it just makes it more likely that people will send it. And that would be the transference of ideas across the country is kind of where that originally came from. Knowledge, we all get knowledge from these things. So they wanted to encourage people to send it. Apparently we don't need to encourage that as much anymore because the prices have been going through the roof. In the 90s, I think I paid $1.05 per media item. Now it's $4.13. And I don't know, I guess everything gets more expensive, but this seems way too expensive, especially considering that just 3 years ago, it was almost half of that price. And I'll get into that in a minute. But what I wanted to say was the reason why there may not have been as much talk about it lately is because postage isn't going up across the board. The Ground Advantage, which is kind of what took over first class parcel, I think most of us probably ship that way for anything that we're sending that isn't going priority mail. So Ground Advantage, that parcel post, that's not going up. Priority mail isn't going up. The price of stamps for letters is going up, but that doesn't really affect us much as resellers, if at all. But media mail is going up, and media mail is going up 9.9%. Now, this isn't set in stone. It's not a done deal yet, but on July 14th, 2024, there's supposed to be a postage increase. Media mail is supposed to go up, proposed 9.9%. And I don't see any reason why it won't. I'm expecting it is going to go up 9.9%. And that is a lot of money. At 9.9%, that's going to make that first pound. Within that first pound, like if you send a DVD, even the way I package them in cardboard, you send one of those, it's like 6 ounces. That's going to cost $4.54 to send media mail. That doesn't make any sense. At 6 ounces, with the discount that I get for using Pirate Ship and making my own labels at home, I can send it first class, Ground Advantage, for cheaper than $4.54 in almost every case, which is probably a good thing for my customers, but I'm going to end up using just regular shipping more than media mail on the lighter items. Now, once we get up into over a pound, I'm sure media mail is still going to be a way better deal. Like LP records go into the kind of bigger mailers, and those are always heavy. Those are between 1 and 3 pounds, usually, depending on the size of the record and how much packaging you need to use. Yeah, those prices are going to go up and it's going to suck, but it kind of makes more sense. It's still only going to be between like $5 and $6, whereas if you were setting that priority, it would be an awful lot more. So I'm not worried about that. I'm just worried about this low-end media mail price. Now, I've made a number of videos in the past about media mail pricing, like how much I sell DVDs for, specifically around DVDs. And if you offer free shipping, how much you actually make if a DVD costs so much. I started with a base number of $1.10, saying you say you buy a $1 DVD, pay 10 cents in tax, and then if you offer free shipping, how much it costs at different listing amounts from like $5.99 up to like $14.99. And I focused on those. I'm going to go back and take a look at those charts and redo them in a minute. But the main thing that I'm seeing here, that my main takeaway is that it doesn't make any sense for me anymore to offer free shipping at all. And I've come to this conclusion. I've talked about it on here before. I said I was maybe going to stop doing it and all new things were going to be listed with shipping on top. I went and checked my listings in my store last night and discovered that I had 94 items that still offered free shipping. And what that means is when that new increase goes in, instead of $4.13 to send most of those items, it's going to be $4.54. Some of those items are not worth anything. I have a handful of them like that are just like old CDs from my record label from decades ago. And I have some of these things laying around. I'm like, oh, I'll just put them up. I'll put them up for $5.99, shipping included. Then even after fees, I make like a quarter, 50 cents or whatever. And if anybody wants them, someone can buy them and get them. And I do sell some. There are still some old fans of these bands that come along every once in a while and they're like, oh, I can get a new CD from them. And it's nice. It just allows me to get it out there. Well, with that increase, I will be losing money on those. So I have to go in and like change every single one of those listings to like $6.49 or $6.9. It's annoying. If I had them set at a low price with shipping on top, whenever there were shipping increases, that would adjust and the people could just decide if they were going to buy them. And so that's what I did. That's what I decided to do. I went through last night all 94 of my listings that had free shipping. I took the free shipping off and I adjusted the prices down. Was this a good idea? Maybe. I don't know if this is necessarily anything, but Mississippi Burning on DVD was one of the items that I had up. I had it up for $9.99, shipping included. Last night, I lowered it to $5.99. Buyer pays shipping. And this morning it sold. That DVD's been up for quite a while. So, yeah, they're going to pay 14 cents more because it was $9.99, shipping included. Shipping would cost $4.13. I lowered it to $5.99, no shipping. Shipping's gonna cost $4.13. This could just literally be that just today someone was happening to look for that DVD and they found mine, or it could be that thing where if you mess with your listings, the eBay algorithm just shows them to more people or moves them up in the search or whatever it is that causes sales to happen when you mess with your listings. Or it could be that nobody was even seeing Mississippi Burning at a $9.99 price, shipping included or not, because they were scrolling through the cheaper versions, and when they found it at $5.99, they were like, perfect, that's a good price, not even thinking about the shipping they were going to put on top. Maybe that's the case. I don't know. Okay, so what am I going to do? I'm going to go use okay, when I did these videos before, and I've done 3 of them, 2 of them I turned Uma around and used the back of this board as a backdrop, and I put up numbers about how much money you make at different price points for DVDs. I'm going to do that again, but I am not going to try to match the angles here since I don't have that same space anymore. I'm going to go back in time and use the space and the footage that I had before. And in my last video where I did this, I took a bunch of still shots of myself. So we're going to travel back a couple of years and see a younger version of me displaying these new numbers for you, and I'll show you what I've come up with on there. Hopefully this will all make sense. The whole point, I guess, will be, well, we'll get to the whole point at the end. Why don't we just go look at that stuff right now? So for this first graph, this is from the video from February 2nd, 2023, when media mail was $3.65 for up to the first pound. And this showed that with included shipping, if you paid $1.10 for the DVD, you couldn't even list a $5.99 DVD, you would still lose 1 penny. Now, before I make the adjustments and everything, I want to say this doesn't even include sales tax. eBay will add the sales tax for different states and then charge you their fees on top of that. So maybe fees on another $1, actually, maybe that $5.99 would actually be negative 11 cents. Although I wasn't able to go through and make one of these for the sales tax amounts in every state. There's not always sales tax. So just keep that in mind. All of these numbers are actually a little bit less in terms of profit, in terms of net. So the first thing we have to do is add the new shipping cost, the current shipping cost. So that's $4.13 for media mail. You can see that drops the net numbers down. Now it's even worse, negative 49 cents for a $5.99 DVD. But those numbers are the numbers for a sale that you would make right now and up until this new price increase comes in, probably in the middle of July. So let's go ahead and adjust for what I think that price increase is going to be. Let's make it $4.54. All right, there they switch again. So now $5.99, you're losing almost $1. With tax, you probably are losing $1. $6.99, now you're down 5 cents below there. You can't even list the DVD for $6.99 and make any profit. If the DVD cost you $1. Of course, if the DVD was 25 cents, you would make like a little bit here. That is something to keep in mind. But even $7.99, you're only making 80 cents. This isn't great. So this is why I think what we need to do is get rid of the free shipping. Take that $4.54 shipping in the column there and turn those to zeros. Now, what will happen is the fees will be calculated differently. Right now, I had estimated fees based on something from a couple of years ago that I figured out. Those fees probably aren't perfect. None of this is perfect. It's just an example. But let's try to get the fees a little closer to what they would actually be. I'll use $5.99 as an example. $5.99 plus $4.54. We add those two things together. Then we have to multiply that by 14.95%, which is the fee on media items. Plus there's a final value fee of 40 cents. So we have to add all that up together. Do the calculation, and here's what I come up with. Okay, all of a sudden, this is looking a whole lot better. Now, a $5.99 listed DVD where the customer pays the shipping. If you paid $1.10 for that DVD, even after fees, you're gonna make $2.91. This means we can start thinking about $4.99 DVDs, $3.99 DVDs. Those would probably work. I have some listed for that amount, and it works because of having the customer pay the shipping. And definitely once we get up to the $12.99, $14.99, we're making nice money on these. So anyway, this is my take on it. I hope putting these numbers up on the screen make it make more sense, and let's just get back to the regular video. So what do I think about it all? I think it doesn't make sense to offer free shipping for low price items on eBay. And there's a lot of people out there who will say it doesn't make sense to sell low-priced items on eBay. I hear you. In fact, I can almost hear you clicking on the keyboard as you write your comment telling me that I shouldn't be selling this cheap stuff and I don't know what I'm doing. I call myself a specialist. Is that what someone said in the last video? I hear you, and I am still going to sell cheap stuff on eBay. I like filling in the gaps. I like having these small items. I don't mind a small sale. If I'm sitting down and packaging a bunch of stuff, I don't mind if I'm packaging 3 or 4 DVDs, a couple of CDs to go with it. Some of those DVDs are going to sell for between $10 and $20. Some are going to be $3 or $4. I don't care. It's fine. As long as I'm making a profit, some profit, I'm moving forward. I'm getting my money back on the DVD sale. It all makes sense. I know. But just so you know, you don't have to leave the comment. I hear you. I already know you don't agree with how I do it, and I'm happy with the way you do it on your channel. I'm not telling anybody how to do any of this stuff. I'm just showing what I'm doing, and if it helps you, if it inspires you, if it makes you look at it differently in some way, think about the way you're doing your selling, or maybe thinking about starting selling, or thinking, I don't want any part of that world. Whichever way, whatever you get out of it, I'm happy. I'm not telling you what to do. Okay. Sorry if that was long and rambling. I hope there was some good information in there for you. And if not, maybe the next video will have what you're looking for. Okay, thank you very much for being here. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you next time.